Hey everyone, Patrick CK here. This is the first of a 3-part build log about my new personal rig. The goal here is to simply go through my methodology of how I chose the components and my strategy for actually buying them, a process that spanned over 3 months. This was a very patience testing process because I really wanted to get everything right away, especially since I built my current rig back in 2013 and it's starting to show its age in newer games and productivity applications. I do think that my patience paid off as I got everything I wanted and came in below my budget. I set my budget at $1,100, which I think falls in the range of a mid-level enthusiast. I didn't want to build a rig that needed to be upgraded next year, but also didn't want to spend $2,000 on something that would be worth half that in a couple months. My goal was to build a quality rig that can play mainstream games but also do some of the productivity work in programs like Photoshop and Premiere for my job and hobbies. That quality should also translate into longevity, which I seem to have accomplished with my last few builds with similar budgets back in 2013, 2010, and 2007. I or family members still use these rigs today for everyday activities in my home. I seem to be on a 3-year computer cycle at this point. I know a lot of people have different ways of doing their personal builds. This is just how I've done it in the past, which has worked out pretty well for me. Keep in mind I am going to be buying all new components from the most popular sellers on Newegg and Amazon. You'll probably notice that I ended up buying everything on Newegg. I do have a Prime subscription with Amazon, and I check prices on both sites daily for almost 3 months before buying every component. And noticed if Amazon was cheaper, it was only cheaper by a few bucks, and because there's a distribution center here in Georgia, I would have to pay taxes on almost everything, which would have been another $80 just in taxes. Not to mention, I got free 4 to 7 business day shipping from Newegg on everything that I ordered. At the beginning of the list, the CPU I chose was an Intel i7 6700K Skylake processor. This is the go-to processor for normal gaming and productivity work. I chose this over the cheaper i5 because of the faster clock speeds and hyper-threading, which makes the i7's 4 cores act like 8, a particular plus when using CPU-intensive programs. The base frequency of 4 GHz boosts up to 4.2 GHz when under load and is unlocked to allow overclocking, with some builders getting a stable overclocks as high as 4.8 GHz. I don't plan on pushing mine that hard, but I won't mind getting a little extra over the boosted frequency. From the factory, you also get a 3-year warranty. After watching the price of the processor fluctuate from as low as $300 to as high as $369 during my price watch between the end of September 2016 and the beginning of December 2016, I was finally able to snag one up for $299 on Newegg. It also came with an Intel Gifts Save the World bundle, which included Rainbow Six Siege and Warhammer The End Vermintide. This was the second to last component that I bought. Now, choosing a graphics card took a little more research as there are countless options. From the beginning though, I was set on getting a Nvidia GTX 1070, which, not surprisingly, has better specs than the 1060 and is in many cases way cheaper than the 1080. I came to choose the 1070 over the 1060 because of a few specs, but one that is often overlooked is the number of CUDA cores. The 1060 architecture has 1280 cores compared to 1920 cores for the 1070, which also supports 8 gigs of GDDR5 memory, while the 1060 only comes in 6 or 3 gigabyte configurations. Even narrowing it down to one product line didn't really help to make the choice easier, as a manufacturer like EVGA has more than 8 versions of their 1070 card. At first, I was solely looking at EVGA as they have been my brand of choice for the last several years, going back all the way to the GTX 8800, then the 275, and my current 660. By having 3 months to watch the market, I stumbled on a card that I thought had some really great features for the price I was aiming for, around $400. The MSI GTX 1070 Gaming X 8G shined above the rest with some amazing numbers, like a 1797 MHz boosted clock, which is a little more than EVGA's superclock model. Even the 8 gigs of GDDR5 memory has a small boost to 8108 MHz over the standard 8008 MHz of all the other cards I've watched. While this card can push some impressive boost numbers, it can also keep things cool and quiet when idle by lowering the clock speed down to 1506 MHz. The cooling setup features AMSI's twin frozen or Frozzer sticks, which revolves around their Torx 2.0 dual double ball bearing fan design and almost full-length heatsink with smooth heat pipes, keeping this card cool and quiet even under heavy load, which increases the card's potential lifespan and thus contributing to my longevity goal. MSI also provides some interesting tools to take control of your card, like the gaming app that allows one-click performance profiles and LED control even from your phone. The Afterburner utility is used to control core clocks, customize fan speed profiles, benchmark, and record video. MSI also provides a 3-year warranty. After watching the price of this card fluctuate from as low as $399 to as high as $459 during the time I mentioned earlier, I was finally able to snag it up for $379 after a $20 mail-in rebate, and was bundled with a copy of Gears of War 4. It appears Newegg discounted the card $60 and charged full price for the game itself. This was the last component that I bought. The CPU and GPU are going to be sitting on an ASRock Z170 Pro 4S ATX motherboard. This was a slightly less methodical purchase, even with the huge number of boards out there. ASRock is my trusted motherboard brand, and the Pro 4S version has several more options than the slightly cheaper Z170A-X1. It features their 10 power phase DigiPower, 4 DIMM slots with support for dual channel DDR4, 2 SATA Express 10GB connectors, 6 SATA 6GB connectors, Intel Gigabyte LAN, Elna sound, improved UEFI mode, a few more hardware monitoring features, a larger heatsink for the chipsets and VRMs, and support for Ultra M.2 32GB per second storage that actually uses the PCIe Gen 3 4X interface. I didn't spring for NVMe storage for this build, but would definitely consider one as the prices start coming down. There is plenty of room for future upgrades with this board, and it comes with a 3-year warranty. What brought my attention to this board besides the features was the combo deal. Normally combo deals aren't as good as they first appear if you look at the price of the parts individually, but in this case it was. The motherboard, which was on sale for $110, was $79 with the combo deal. The other part of the combo deal was 6GB of G.Skill Ripjaw V-Series DDR4 3000 on 2 8GB sticks. G.Skill has been my preferred memory provider since the beginning. Even though they retail for $110, the combo deal got it down to $79. This was also an upgrade from the G.Skill memory I was looking at, which is only DDR4 2400. With this combo deal, I saved $60 between the motherboard and memory and got better components than I initially budgeted for. And G.Skill has a lifetime warranty. As any system builder or overclocker knows, a stock cooler won't cut it. Anyway, most i7s don't even ship with their own cooler, which is good because it's one less thing I have taken up shelf space. For my cooling, I'm going with Corsair's Hydro Series H55 Quiet Edition. Yes, I'm all about water cooling, which stems back to my goal of longevity. Keeping the CPU cool all the time is key to keeping it kicking for a long life. The H55 is completely self-contained with a maintenance-free design, features a low-noise 120mm fan, low-profile pump designed for silent operation, and a low-profile radiator. I have yet to see a tower fan that can keep pace with a water cooler for the price I got the H55. In my experience in helping friends who had to have a tower fan, installation is usually no fun. Those metal fins are sharp and frankly are hideous and heavy, which can warp a board if not properly installed. Corsair's 5-year warranty is a definite plus. I bought the H55 a little early in the game as Newegg had it on sale from its usual $80 down to $60, plus a $10 mail-in rebate, which brought the overall cost down to just $50. As far as storage, nothing too special here. It will come in the form of a Silicon Power Slim 240GB 6GB SATA SSD, which includes a comfortable 3-year warranty. I found this one on Newegg for $70.98, which works out to almost 30 cents a gig, which is about average. I already have a secondary Western Digital Blue 1TB hard drive that will be transplanted from my current rig. As far as what's going to power everything, Corsair shows up again in its CXM series ATX power supply, which will bring 650 watts to bear with the 80+ bronze efficiency rating. This PSU is semi-modular, which is fine with me since you have to use a 24-pin connector anyway. All the other cables are pretty much optional depending on your setup. The question of how much wattage you really need from a power supply is a little bit of a tricky question. Some people guess or go by what the graphics card says it needs, or just go overkill on 1000 watt when they really only need a 500 watt PSU. I used a very handy online tool by Outer Vision. You simply put in the parts you want using the EasyForm interface, and it will spit out the expected power needs based on your configuration. It will even take into account if you plan on overclocking your CPU and GPU. Check it out at the link below. For me, that number was 439 watts. So a 650 watt power supply fits the bill nicely with some room to spare for miscellaneous extras. Again, Corsair's 5-year warranty was a definite plus. The timing was just right as Newegg had this power supply on sale from its usual $80 down to $65, and Corsair came through again with a limited time mail-in rebate of $20, bringing the overall cost of the PSU down to $45. Everything's going to be enclosed in a DIY PC Silence BK window mid-tower case. At only $30 after a $20 mail-in rebate, it was a no-brainer. This case has some really nice features that I can't wait to see in action, like the SD card reader as part of the top I/O, along with dual USB 3.0 and 2.0 audio jacks, and a large side window. It also comes with 3 pre-installed 120mm silent running fans and a built-in fan controller that can support up to 5 fans. While silent running wasn't an initial goal of mine, this case does feature sound and vibration dampening material throughout the interior. You can watch my review of this case at the link below. In the end, I got everything I wanted and a little more for a grand total of $1,035. $65 less than my original budget of $1,100. In the end, my advice is to look for brands you trust, find their most affordable products that meet your requirements, and add them to a wish list, and then watch the prices. If I had bought everything in one go back in September, I would have spent $1,189, a good bit over my budget. I hope this video helps you get the most for your money on your next build. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Check back soon when I assemble my new rig on camera. And I do love the smell of new computer hardware in the morning. See you on my next video. Thanks everyone.